I recently did a video on all of my completed series, so I thought I would do a video on my incomplete series. So the series that I'll be talking about are series that are completed, but I haven't completed. So it's not going to be about any series that aren't done yet and I'm not caught up on. It's only ones that are completely finished and I haven't finished reading them. So the first series that I guess I'll talk about is the Monument 14 trilogy by Emmy Laybourne. My boyfriend got me these, and I'm too afraid to tell him that I didn't like them. So I've read the first two, and I will at some point read the third one. The next series is The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. I own the box set, but I have only read Clockwork Angel. I wasn't the biggest fan of this book. It was okay. There were a lot of things that I didn't like about it. I didn't like the pacing, I didn't like some of the characters, and it was not at all what I was expecting, and not in a nice, surprising way either. So I am going to continue with the series at some point to see if the characters or the story or the writing grows on me. Plus also I have all three of them and they're really pretty. So at some point I will be continuing with the series. I'm just not in a rush to do that. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I have read and I own the first two, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer and The Evolution of Mara Dyer. I really enjoyed the first one. I didn't think it quite lived up to the hype that was surrounding it, but I did enjoy it and I thought it was pretty mind-blowing. I did not like the second one. There were aspects of it that I liked, but as a whole, I was very disappointed in where the story was going. And I still was interested in reading the third one. I was just waiting for it to come out in paperback. But by the time it came out in paperback, I really lost interest and I really don't think I want to read it. I have a feeling it's just going to be incredibly disappointing to me. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I have read and own the first two, and I really enjoyed the first one. I loved Hollow City, the second one. I thought it was even better than the first one. I am interested in reading the third one. I think it'll be really good. I just haven't gotten around to getting it yet. Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan, I don't freaking know. I have read the first one, The Lightning Thief, and I quite enjoyed it. I wasn't in love with it, but I did think it was a lot of fun, and I have the entire box set. Again, it's a matter of just getting to it, which will happen eventually, just hasn't happened yet. Shatterby by Tahira Mafi. I have issues with this book. I enjoyed it, but there were parts of it also that I really didn't enjoy, like the writing. Parts of it were pretty. A lot of it was pretty. It was pretty writing. But it was too metaphorical. Like, sometimes you have to actually tell me what's happening. I also wasn't the biggest fan of the way the story seemed to be going. The ending, it wasn't a twist at the end, it just something happened that steered the story into a completely different direction, and I don't think I want to read 2 more books about that at all. So I don't know if I want to continue with this series. Also, I've been spoiled for who Juliet ends up with and I don't agree with that either. Ashes by Ilse J. Bick. I have read the first one, Ashes, and I also own the second one, Shadows. There is a third one called Monsters. I really enjoyed the first half of this book. I really liked the writing and the characters and the thoughts of the main character. I thought it was really great. The second half I did not like at all, but then there was this crazy cliffhanger. And I've just been hesitant to pick up the second one because of how much I didn't enjoy the second half of this book. I have a feeling the second book will not be really similar to the second half of this book. I have a feeling the story is really going to take a turn, but I'm still hesitant on it because of how much I didn't enjoy the second half of this and how long it took me to get through it. Ink by Amanda Sun. I have read and I own the first one, and I also own the second one, Rain. I absolutely adored this book. I loved it so much. So I know I'll love the second one. Just the only thing about this is it's a slow-moving story, which is totally fine. I like slow-moving stories. But you have to be in the mood for a slow-moving story, and the thing with me is, if I know it's going to be slow-moving, I don't want to read it. But if I read a book and then it's slow-moving, I'm like, oh, well, this is okay. So I don't really know. Matched by Ali Condi. My mom got me the second and third books in this trilogy when she went to this big, cool publisher convention something or other book sale in Toronto without me. So I went ahead and got the first one to go with the other two that she got me, and I enjoyed this. I didn't love it, but I liked it, and again, it was slow moving. Everything was slow. The love story was slow. The development was slow. Finding out what was going on was slow. It was just everything about it was very, very, very calm and relaxing and slow, which I enjoyed about it. I liked the pacing because I liked that it was kind of a calming read. But at the same time, like I said with ink, it just makes it difficult for me to pick up the second one because knowing it's going to be slow for some reason puts me off of it, even though I didn't have a problem with it being slow when I started it. But I didn't know it was going to be slow. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a faster read. So it's just difficult. Like, I should just read it. I should just do it. The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. The third book, I believe, just recently came out. And I have only read the first one, and I don't think I want to read the other two at all. But I want to keep this one because it's really pretty. His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. I have read The Golden Compass, and I gave this 4 stars. And I own the second one, The Subtle Knife. But I haven't read it yet. I also do not own and have not read the third one, The Amber Spyglass, I think it's called. This one I enjoyed. I thought for a middle grade book that it was kind of heavy, though. I don't think I would have enjoyed this if I tried reading this when I was 10 at all, but whatever. I enjoyed the story, and I really liked the whole thing about the demons, because in this book there's people who are experimenting, who are trying to separate humans from their demons, which is a part of their soul that lives outside of their body. And the descriptions about what it's like to see people separated from their demons and stuff I thought was really well done and really interesting, especially compared to the movie, because I saw the movie first, and then I read the book, and it just completely changed my view on everything, and I was like, oh my god, this is so intense. So I did quite enjoy this book, and I've heard that it just gets super weird, which is kind of cool, but my problem is I'm a shallow book owner, if you want to call it that. I have yet to find the third book in a cover that matches this one. My second one matches, and I haven't found a third one that matches. And Seven, the series by 7 different authors. I have read only one, which is Between Heaven and Earth by Eric Walters. I own the entire box set, and what it is it's 7 different books, all told by 7 different people. But they are all from the same family, and they're all doing something that's revolving around the same thing. So you don't have to read all of them, you don't have to read them in any specific order, but they all are kind of like companions to each other, which is kind of cool. But this is the only one I've read. I read this one actually in one sitting. The last one I'm going to talk about is The Named by Marianne Curley. There is a name for this trilogy, but I'm not sure what it is. I have read the first one, and I also own the second one, and there's a third one, and I have no idea what it's called. And I read this in grade 10, I think, which was a very long time ago, and I really enjoyed it. I remember even emailing the author and being like, oh my god, this book is amazing, how do you write such amazing things? And she never replied to me, but whatever. I always say I want to reread it and then read The Dark and then get the third one and read that one, but, you know, I've said that a lot over a couple years and it hasn't happened yet. I believe those are all of my unfinished series. I'm pretty sure those are all of them. You can let me know if there are any series that you haven't finished yet in the comments, and we can have a chat about that.